How's everyone doing today? All right, welcome back to Michigan Living. Let's get onto this article here talking about how frustrating it is to try and be able to find a dream house right now. So for right now, it's that really from USA Today. They came out with for crying out loud, survey says most U.S. home buyers move to tiers in today's market. Yeah, it's very frustrating. Things are looking a little bit better for buyers right now because of the higher interest rates. A bunch of people are no longer able to get loans, and some just are worried, so they backed out of the market. So for right now, it's for those that are serious about getting a home right now before the interest rates climb even higher. It's looking much better and a lot less frustration, let me tell you. All right, so for many, purchasing a home is an American dream, but the road to home ownership can be so draining that it moves many to tears, according to a study by Zillow. The real estate website found that half of U.S. home buyers cry at least once during the exhaustive process. Additionally, almost 90% of recent buyers surveyed said that at least one aspect of buying a home proves stressful. I'll tell you when that is. When you find a house, I know because I have clients and stuff like that. You know, we go see properties, they fall in love with the property. But what happens? We put a bid on a property and it's not accepted. That right there is the most devastating part. You know, all of a sudden they fall in love with the property, right? But unfortunately, just because you fall in love with the property doesn't mean that there's, the last, 30 people who just saw the house also didn't fall in love with the property too. All right. So, unfortunately, it's just a numbers game. That's why I always tell my clients and stuff like, don't fall in love with the property. Find ones that you go, okay, this could work. And then and if it's worth the money, it'll make sense. Okay, let's put a bid on this property. All right. And then we'll see if we get it. If they accept our offer, great. Then start to fall in love with the property. All right. So, that's really, and so, the key part in there is the frustration. I have clients and stuff that are to put bid on properties, and oh yeah, this one will work great. This would be perfect. Blah blah blah, and then I have to let them know. Yeah, they accepted a different offer. The only bad part is when I'm doing a recommendation and this has happened numerous times. I tell people you're going to need to bid X amount of money in this property to even be considered serious. Because not all properties are the same, all right? But if they're higher end where they are ready for just moving, you're paying more for that property, all right? End of story. Why? Because there's a bunch of people are also trying to be able to find those same properties, and they are bidding higher on it because they're more serious about buying that property. And if I go, hey, we need a suggestion, is that we probably are going to be needing to be up at this price range for us to be even competitive. Well, I don't know. It's like, okay, then you're not that serious about the property. And then they get all devastated when the guy, when the realtor comes back at me and lets me know, it's like, yeah, we accepted an offer at this price and you weren't even close. But it's exactly the price I said and so we're going to be needing to be able to be at. So in that way, it's frustrating for me, the realtor, when I'm right, but I can't exactly go, oh, see, if you actually tell me what I told you to do, you would have actually had a chance of getting this property. I can't say that. At least not a smart realtor won't do that. But, yes, it sucks. It really does. So that is a part that really is the most frustrating part. Right after that, of course, would be, trying to be able to find out if the lender, because there's lenders going to be wanting to be able to check out the property most times in order to, lenders are going to have appraisal, blah, blah, blah. So when it comes down to it, how it's going to appraise, and then, that's not really nearly as bad, to be honest. An appraisal is an appraisal. If it comes below, then we just need to renegotiate the cost, okay, of how much we're going to be buying it for. Because if it goes under, then obviously, there's a bit of an issue, because now we need to, talk about it again if it already wasn't handled in the PA to begin with. So, the other stuff is just Mickey Mouse stuff. And just long as a realtor and somebody has his crap together and, has already gotten everything going, to the title company, and everything is moving along there, and they say everything is good to go. And just as long as the lender is key, because not all lenders are equal. Some lenders will even, ditch you and say, oh, because I've actually had it where a lender dropped the bomb on a client of mine 3 days before we're closing. 3 days. All right. Luckily enough, I happen to know a lender and, a couple, that I have worked with and, haven't screwed over my clients. And because that lender, and so it was an assistance by the clients, by the way. But anyways, he was able to get on it right away, and we were able to still close, which was amazing. All right, so we had a closing. The original lender dropped it before 3 days before. The title company was all set to go. Everything is good, except now all of a sudden we don't have financing. The joys of being a realtor. But luckily enough, that's also why it's very important to be able to have really good, dependable lenders. Seriously. Because then all of a sudden you don't have the stupid crap. So we were able to salvage it, and we were able to close on time. Well, an hour later originally than, but still, we were able to close, which is fantastic. And it doesn't happen that way all the time. Usually a lender cannot get everything going within 3 days. Trust me, not going to happen. Not normally. So, there are frustrating parts in purchasing a home. But yes, the most crucial for the tiers is that first initial trying to be able to get an acceptance. So, at least in my experience. All right. Now let's see what else these guys say here. The real estate website found that half of U.S. home buyers cry at least once during the exhaustive process. Yeah, no kidding. Zillow surveyed about 2,000 Americans who either bought or intended to buy a house in the past 2 years as housing costs became and remains at a premium. No kidding. It's actually getting a little bit worse, and it will be getting a lot worse, trust me, as interest rates go up. That's why it's key to be able to buy now and lock in your interest rate. Now is the prime time to do so. Trust me. Once when interest rates start going higher, start reaching, a lot higher by the end of this year, most people's dreams of being able to buy a home, they're going to get flushed. There's no way they'll be able to do it. And that's why it's important to do it now. What replaced the tears of joy that can come when purchasing a house? Zillow found that about 62% of potential home buyers were stressed about being able to find a home within their budget. About 61% were stressed about not having enough houses to choose from. That's just the market. And 58% were stressed about finding a home in their desired neighborhood. There are different things you can be able to do on some of that. It all depends on some of that. Just like I always whenever, of course, I'm going to be picking up a client, I always talk to them about, what is your end game? What do you want? All right. And then we set a plan on how they're going to be getting into their desired neighborhood and getting their dream home. It might not necessarily be their first house. It usually is not. Usually, and so in order to be able to get your dream home with your dream neighborhood, is usually 3 or 4 houses, down the road. That's the way it usually is. If they're ever going to even get a dream home. I think we were surprised by the share of recent buyers who said they cried at least once, as there were some who cried at least 5 times while looking for a home. Zillow Home Trend Expert, whatever, told USA Today. The Zillow survey comes at a time when the median sales price of homes in the U.S. reportedly reached a record $428,000 in the first quarter of this year. And the 30-year fixed mortgage soared above 5%. Yes, because there's just what's happening now, right? It's going to get higher. The Fed has already stated they're going to increase the interest rates even higher. We could, because my crystal ball is broken, so I can't see the future, but I know what they're telling us, and the Feds and stuff want to be able to increase the interest rates like 8-9% ish. All right, it's a plan. At least it's been talked about. Okay, if that's the case, oh boy, it's going to get a lot higher. Zillow said nearly half of all homes sold in the U.S. in April sold for over the asking price. No kidding. A 37% increase from a year ago. Kleenex, anyone? All right. The writer thinks they're funny. Here's the problem. Is that, yes, is pretty much everything going over asking price? Oh, absolutely. That's why right now it's really, really good for sellers. Unbelievably good, because you're going to make more money. All right. And in the right scenario of your life, your situation, because your situation changes depending upon what's going on in your life. Okay. If all you're doing is just selling a house, sell it now. Because you're never going to make the amount of money that you can make now later. It's not going to happen. All right. Even, I don't foresee, and neither does anybody else, any of the experts, marketing experts, they don't see a serious drop in pricing for houses. All right. But, that extra $10,000, $20,000 that you could make off your house now is still $10,000, $20,000 you're throwing away if you don't sell it now. All right. It's just what it is. And people right now are unloading pieces of crap and getting unbelievable amount of money for them. All right. But that's changing very quickly. Very soon and some of that, the only homes that are really going to be selling are going to be the really nice homes. All right. If it isn't a really nice home, you're not going to sell it for nearly as much as the homes that are really nice. We're going to be able to go back down to normalcy in that regards again. All right. It's just a fact. This demographic cries most other home buying. This demographic cries most. Okay, some people and stuff like that just have a very interesting way of writing. It turns out that Gen Z millennials, many seeking to become first-time home buyers, are far more likely to cry at least once during their journey, the Zillow survey says. No kidding. More than 65% of Gen Z buyers, those in their 20s, 30s, and 61% of millennial buyers, those in their 30s and 40s, cried at least once to buy a home. Okay. Further, 44% of Gen Z buyers surveyed say they cried 2 to 4 times. Millennial home buyers are slightly ahead at 45%. Why are they picking on? Why are they picking on the millennials? Millennials are now the largest group of home buyers, making up 37% of overall share in 2021. Well, it's about time that millennials and stuff started being able to, buy homes, because there's you think things are bad now. Remember, rents are going up higher and higher, and they don't have to keep it within your budget. A lot of times, from what I'm seeing, and a bunch of people I know who have rentals, yeah, they're going to be increasing rentals by. I know one guy specifically. He's going to be increasing his rental pricing is about 10% per year from what he has now, and he's not cheap. And he's like, if you can't afford it, we'll just find somebody else who will, and that sucks. That's why I'm stressing so that if you're going to be able to, if there's any way to be able to get a house, you get it now. At least in this way, so that once when you buy, so long as you're on a fixed rate mortgage, 15, 30 year, depending upon what's best for you. And there's also all cash, I know, but most people don't have all cash. So you can be able to do this. You're locked in. Guess what? You don't have to worry about increases. You're locked in your rates. I mean, sure, you're going to have slight increases, every year because of different things, property taxes, blah, blah, blah. All right, but not like it is for renting. So some families cannot compete with all cash home buyers. There we go. Losing a home to the all cash offers that are more popular in the seller's market also is bringing some would-be buyers to tears. No kidding. I know it well. But even then, it's a bit, because I've actually had a couple of all cash buyers, and they were losing to FHA. Why? Because, again, whenever, of course, everybody's lives are different. All cash buyers almost all the time can be able to close, could close within 2 weeks, or could close in 2 to 3 weeks. All right, close. That's great if the house is empty and they already have someplace to go, and or if they're already living in their new place. That's fantastic. It's not necessarily a good thing for if you are trying to sell off your house, buy a new house. You have no interest in closing in 2 to 3 weeks. All right, you have an interest in closing in your 45 days, and then still having a 90-day agreement to still be in the house after closing while you're closing on your new property, and then being able to move in and all this other stuff. Okay. And that's what's key, is that you don't know the situation that the people are in that are selling the houses. All right. If the people were, there's whole different types of scenarios, and I can keep on going on if I were to do so. So anyways, almost 30% of recent home buyers surveyed said they lost out to all cash buyers. Only 30%? That's not bad. Emotionally challenging is how Pendleton describes the loss. You've gotten through the process of submitting an offer, and you envision yourself being in that home, decorating the nursery, and you picked out the window treatments you were going to put in the dining room, and then poof, it's gone in 2 days due to higher bidder or an all-cash deal. No kidding. That's called nesting. And if you start nesting in a home that you haven't even gotten an acceptance offer on yet, yeah, you're just going to be in a world of hurt. That to me is the realtor, and so that should have done a better job in trying to rein them in. Because it's part of our job to protect our clients. All right. Your dreams you had for you and your family are gone, and you have to start from scratch. Your energy, emotions are sapped. Exactly. All right. Don't even think about the property unless you have an acceptance. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Unless the sellers sign on your PA, your purchase agreement, all right, and go, yes, we're accepting your offer. Nothing matters until after that happens. Okay, just saying. Buyers aren't getting a break anytime soon. Okay, that's interesting. I will disagree with you on that statement. With inventory remaining low and demand relatively high, most houses easily get multiple offers. Correct. She added that about half of the homes for sale sell for more than their listing price. Correct. Citing Zillow's most recent consumer trends. Yes, most of that is true, except that now we're also seeing that a bunch of homes are now starting to be on the market a little bit longer. And they're starting to be able to starting to be able to have price decreases. They're starting to go down, especially if they're not beautiful homes. KW. Oops. All right, about 7 in 10 homes sold for more than the asking price in March, according to S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Home Price Index. The real culture shift is now, instead of wrapping our lives around work, we're now wrapping them around our homes. That's going to be key, though. Said our space is more valuable than ever. Okay, I have to make a comment about that again. But don't forget that also more and more people are starting to be able to work from home, so they also need home offices. All right, I'm about to change my office to a different part of the house tomorrow. So, but you know, there's a big difference in some of that, and also so what you value. All right, and that's where there's a cultural shift around work. Well, yes, work is very important. That's what brings in the money. But wrapping them around homes. But a lot of times, a lot of people are starting to be able to bring their work into the home. And that's a big shift right there. That's where home offices are becoming huge. Okay. And as a result, 60% of sellers report getting at least 2 offers on their home, and houses can be off the market within at least 2 days of listing. That would be unwise. But yes, it can. Zillow estimates there are about 23% fewer homes on the market compared with last year. Correct. 23% dependent on the area in the market. But yes, there are overall less homes available this year than it was last year. All right, which is not a good sign. But now with the higher interest rates, it's also taking a bunch of buyers out as well. And if everything keeps on going the way they are right now, you're going to be having less issues dealing with all cash offers because there won't be as many. And also because there's other people are even telling me who are in that part of the market for financing are stating that, which I go, wow, is that they're telling me there's the important loans that are going to be coming up are going to be FHA and VA because they're guaranteed government-backed loans. All right, so those are going to be key pretty soon, but not right now. But they're becoming more and more prominent, and they will be. But there are some signs that home buying may ease in the coming months because the Federal Reserve rate increases to control inflation are starting to affect the market. They're bumping up the interest rate. The competition will get less intense, but buyers aren't getting a break anytime soon. Again, I will agree and disagree. But then again, none of us are, very good fortune tellers. So basically, in a nutshell, what's coming down is that, yes, it's very frustrating trying to be able to find a house. All right. When you're first looking, don't fall in love with a house. Okay, especially if you're not even accepted yet. All right, find one that you go, well, yeah, I could really like this. All right, but don't get so emotionally attached, because you have to keep in mind that yeah, you can, this house isn't even yours. There's nothing in here. Don't put too much into it. All right, don't settle on, oh, this house is the one. Don't do it. And if you do a, hey, yeah, this is the house, this is the one, then you better be offering offering the money to try and make sure you're going to get it. All right. All right. That's it from me for now. If you have any comments, questions, or whatever, let me know. If you want to find out and so how to be able to find a good house in some of the Michigan area, Sterling Heights, Rochester, etc., give me a call or an email or DM me. All right? All right, you guys have a great one. Talk to you later. Bye.